All right, lawmakers say they are looking forward to hearing from their constituents this Thanksgiving break, as most polls show the Democrats' impeachment hearings haven't moved the needle. And some Democrats in pro-Trump districts say they're feeling the pressure tonight. Joining me now from the Aggressive Progressive podcast, Chris Hahn, and from the Republican National Lawyers Association, Harmeet Dhillon. Great to have both of you with us.
Thanks, Shannon. Happy to be here.
Okay, so let's talk about this. The Washington Examiner, under the headline, "Dozens of moderate Democrats Face Impeachment Pressure," says this: moderate Democrats must reckon with poll numbers that show Trump's popularity has not declined since the impeachment push began in the House. A vote for impeachment for some House Democrats is a vote against a president who is popular with their constituents. Chris, do you think they're feeling pressure tonight in those pro-Trump districts?
I think that there's always pressure in politics. Otherwise, what's the point? Anybody can do it, right? Polls don't move very quickly in this country these days. People are dug in on their positions. If you like Trump, you're against impeachment. If you don't like Trump, you're for impeachment. Things can change in a hurry, though, as news changes in a hurry. And we saw with Richard Nixon that when the bottom fell out for him, it fell out all at once. And it's very possible that that might happen to Donald Trump. I still don't see him being removed by the Senate because I do.
I mean, people don't seem convinced of what they've seen so far. If anything, polls show that since the hearings have started, people have a lesser taste for impeachment and removal.
I think that people get their news from sources they agree with. And I think that people have not really changed and looked outside of those sources. And I think it's time for Americans to look at the big picture and see what's really going on with this president. And if they really believe in law and order, they will.
Yeah, and I think it's good to watch the hearings for yourself and look at all kinds of different news sources. Harmeet,
yes.
To that point, though, the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, Jerry Nadler, today announced that December 4th, the House Judiciary Committee is going to start having its own hearings. And he's also invited the president to testify. Any chance he does?
Well, I mean, I think the president is trolling these folks, but Jerry Nadler's last attempt at trying to remove the president through the Russia collusion hearings was a total flop. And I think Adam Schiff was feeling the pressure, contrary to what Chris just said. What are the polls he's watching and what TV is he watching? Because he's totally changed his tune from being all in for impeachment to really hedging his bets. So I think the Democrats are all over the place. If I were a Democrat strategist looking at this, I would say this is a mess. There's no strategy. They changed their focus from week to week, and the polls, as you pointed out, Shannon, are declining for popularity for impeachment. And by the way, if they want to try to do some sort of a faux impeachment or impeachment light by doing a censure, that's equally partisan, and it's equally likely to be a party line vote and equally likely to be a flop for those Democrats who are in those Trump districts. So I think these folks, let's look at what have the Democrats accomplished in 1 year in office in Congress. Zero, zip, nothing. They've had 2 failed impeachment efforts. That's all they have to show for it. And if they don't change their tune soon, that's all they're going to have to show for it in November next year.
Let's talk about this issue about censure, because it's something that the congresswoman from Minnesota, the Democrat, Congresswoman Lawrence, had floated on Sunday, took a boatload of backlash on that. She now says, no, forget the censure thing. I'm all in for impeachment. All for impeachment. The Chicago Tribune, the editorial board today, is saying, hey, the case for censure, let's talk about it. It says it ensures that final judgment of Trump's misdeeds remains where it should be with the American people on Election Day 2020. That's barely 11 months hence. At that time, voters will have the opportunity to expel him. I mean, Ari Fleischer also tweeting the smart move by the Ds would be to censure Trump and to drop impeachment. So, Chris, any chance that happens?
No, I think that for history, the Democrats need to show that they stand on the side of law and order. I mean, the president clearly was using his office to try to corrupt the Ukraine. He violated the Impoundment Control Act. Clearly based on his own words and all of the testimony. Well, yeah, there's a debate by a Republican Party that is fully entrenched with this president and will not move from his side for fear that he will have major reprisals with his base. But clearly, if you look at the evidence, including the transcript the president released, he was using his office to get dirt on his political opponent. That should not be allowed in our republic. And for the Republicans not to budge on that, that's kind of ridiculous. And quite frankly, when you look at polls, you don't have to hold too
let's
many
bring
numbers.
Harmeet in here, because I'm guessing Harmeet's going to see that transcript differently.
It's not so clear when Adam Schiff is retreating when he sees the polls and how people are reacting to this. What the Democrats put on was a sham. There was no direct evidence. It was a game of telephone. It wouldn't even hold up in a sort of high school disciplinary proceeding. It was all gossip and it was all nonsense, and it is not an impeachable offense. And impeachment should not be taken lightly, Chris. One day your party will be in the White House, and you will not want them subjected to these types of dumb shenanigans and games. It should not be done lightly.
All I could say,
and the Democrats know it's going to fail. That's why they've changed their tune, Chris. I didn't talk over you, so please don't talk over me.
Let Harmeet finish. Then we got to go.
Yeah, so what I was going to say is that they've seen that the polls are against them. I think they're going to move on. And there is an option, the third option, Shannon. It's do nothing, admit that the hearings did not produce the evidence, move on and do the people's work, what they were sent to do.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the left part of the base is not going to allow that to be an option. Okay, listen, it all fires up right after Thanksgiving. Have a nice one. Don't get too rowdy over the
you too.
The wishbone.
Thank you,
Enjoy.
Shannon.
Good to see you both.
Happy
Chris and
Thanksgiving.
Harmeet. You too.
You too, Shannon.